Hey everyone, welcome to NFL in London. Joining me, Ryan Cull. You might know us from NFL in London. Every week at the Hippodrome Casino, we put on London's best NFL parties. Now it's made even better because we've got DraftKings on board. All right! DraftKings is your best daily fantasy and weekly fantasy NFL now in the UK, and we're very excited to party with them. Party on board. It's the way DraftKings works. I don't know if you've played with it before. It's weekly. So it's not like the season-long ones. You're doing weekly. Change your team up every week. You can join a lot of contests, and we've got a contest playing at the Hippodrome this weekend. You can win first prize, 2 tickets to any of the international games of your choice. Now, you've got to be at the casino or pick them up at the casino to win. So sorry, people in America, it's going to be very difficult for you to win unless you want to fly to London. So the way it works is you've got 9 players, 9 positions. You have a $50,000 budget to which to drive your roster. Ryan and I are going to go through our picks for this week, talk about who we have on our picks. Let's start off in your quarterback position, Ryan.
Excellent. Well, obviously it's week 1. I am going Homerville. I'm going with Tyrod Taylor. I think this is a great situation. I think anytime you can have a running back that runs for yards, that is huge. You know, Tyrod Taylor runs for 50 yards in this game. That is a massive. It's like throwing another touchdown. I think he's going to look to Sammy Watkins. They've got the running game that they're not going to be able to put 8 in the box, and they're not going to be able to stop him. And I think Tyrod Taylor's going to get a lot of opportunities to go deep. I think it's a great game for him, especially at 6,900. I think it's a great value for him, definitely. And I am more than happy with going with Tyrod Taylor because I think by the end of the year, he will be a top 10 fantasy quarterback because of the running game, because I think he probably will have a chance to lead the NFL in rushing as a quarterback.
All right, well, I've gone actually for a quarterback that does a little bit of rushing himself, although my budget's a little smaller at $6,400. That's right, Tennessee quarterback Marcus Mariota. Now, he started very well last season. Again, a scrambling quarterback, but he's going against Minnesota's defense. And I really like him in this. The guy averages 19.7 fantasy points per game. He's going to run all over the place. He's going to do a lot of passes. He will hit the deep ball when he needs to. For a value player, for a quarterback, I just think Minnesota's in a shambles all over the place. I am going Marcus Mariota. Let's go with running backs. You get 2 running backs. Ryan,
right.
tell me who your 2 running backs are.
I think I nailed it on running back, to be honest with you. I think number 1, this is the best value pick of the week, is Spencer Ware. Spencer Ware, 4,400. Jamal Charles is probably not going to play this week. I think he's going to get very limited snaps. And Spencer Ware has been this guy over the last couple weeks last year when he took over for Jamal Charles, was very consistent. Got 2 touchdowns against San Diego last time he played them. They're playing San Diego again this week. And I think he's in line to be. West is injured. I think this is the time. Spencer Ware has a chance to really take a stranglehold of this job, because in the NFL, it's what have you done for me lately? And I think Jamal Charles, coming off 2 ACL tears of his knees, they're not going to want to rush him in. Even if he comes in, he's going to get limited snaps. Where is the goal line back? And you can get him for 4,400, which is one of the cheaper running backs. Because with running backs, you don't know. It's a passing league. And I think as a discount and as a good deal, I don't think you can do any better than Spencer Ware.
All right, who's your second running back?
My second is Latavius Murray. I'm not actually hugely sold on him throughout the whole year, but I think against New Orleans this week, why wouldn't you go with him? Yeah. He's a big bruising back. You have Derek Carr. He's going to get the absolute. He moves the ball. They got Amari Cooper, and I think Murray's going to get a chance to get in the end zone. They're going to be at the goal line. I see him having a good game. And again, 5,600. Two running backs that are definitely cheap that I think will give you definitely benefits.
Well, I've gone also as well. We start talking about fantasy points when we look at the games. Oakland versus New Orleans. I think it's going to be a bloodbath of points. Yep. These 2 teams have horrible defenses. New Orleans hasn't really done anything.
Well, Oakland does have Khalil Mack, who's maybe to be the next defensive player of the year.
Yeah, but you need other people, the Oakland is one of those teams you could score on, which is why I took Tim Hightower for New Orleans as one of mine. 4,300. The reason I like this guy is when they get to the red zone, he's going to be that guy that they push over the. He's going to be the guy that pushes over the line. He's the guy that gets in the red zone, gets the touchdowns. 4,300. This guy, I really like him this season. I think he could be a really good addition for New Orleans. Obviously, they're going to have to utilize a couple of running backs. The second guy is the guy who I think is going to have a great time, 6,200, Doug Martin, because he's going against Atlanta. This guy just gashes. He just pushes people through, and Atlanta doesn't have enough people up front to stop Doug Martin. They're going to use a lot of it. Jameis Winston's going to give this off to Doug Martin a lot. He was consistent last year. He's going to bang through it. The guy averages 15.6 fantasy points per game. With this kind of value for 6,200, I am taking Doug Martin, and I think he's going to be one of my big players of the week. Now, Ryan, let's go on to 3 wide receivers. You have 3 wide receivers. Where did you spend your money here?
I think I did a good job. I think I went with number 1. I decided to splash on the fancy car and go with Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham Jr. against Dallas. Why not? I think if you're going to use your money on anybody, use it on one of the top-end receivers this week. And I think Beckham Jr. has proven time and time again that he kills Dallas. And the other ones I've chosen is Marvin Jones on Detroit.
Okay, yeah.
I think now that Calvin Johnson's gone, and they're going to be down,
so
and they're going to be passing a lot. It's either going to be Golden Tate or Marvin Jones. Whoever is the 1 or the 2, I think it's very debatable who's 1 or 2. But I think both of those are going to get a lot of targets. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for Jones to get some points, especially coming from Cincinnati, to establish himself as the number 1 on that team. And then last, this is from watching Hard Knocks. I went with Tavon Austin.
Oh, there you go.
Contract. And I think he's just a guy who, anytime he touches the ball, can get you points.
Yep.
You know, he might not get you the targets. He's not going to be that guy you're going to be slinging it down the field. But they're going to find a way to get him the ball. Like Tavon Austin, they're going to find ways, creative ways, handing it off to him, little screens. But he's going to get the ball, and he's scoring points, and he's getting better and better the last couple of years. I think we're starting to see a bit more from what he can actually do.
Yeah, he's also got the yards after the carry, which is really good. Yeah. He's one of those guys that he catches the ball, and he can get you extra yards on that. That's a big thing. I've gone for a couple wide receivers here. Brandon Cooks going against Oakland. Look, it's Drew Brees. You know, he's just going to throw the ball. Brees, obviously number 1 tied with Roethlisberger for number 1 in passing yards last year. Brandon Cooks is just one of those go-to guys. He's 7,700. But when you know in a game that's going to be such high scoring, and these guys are going to put up somewhat points, this guy's going to get you a lot of points and a couple touchdowns, hopefully. The next guy, the old man from Tampa, Vincent Jackson, going against Atlanta. I like him. I like the separation he gets. He's consistent in points as well. I think Winston is really going to be targeting him in this game. I like him for the fact that he was actually quite cheap at 4,400. 4,400 for Vincent Jackson. I will take that. Next, my last guy, rookie. That's right, I went with a rookie. Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
New York Giants.
That's from my boy.
4,900. Yeah, but you know they're going to be putting a lot of coverage on Beckham, and this guy's got fire on him. He's a real fast runner, and I really like him. I think Eli's going to go deep on this guy at 4,900. 13.5 fantasy points a game, basically is what we're estimating. He's a rookie, but I like this guy, and I think that this guy is going to be very big for this season. All right, so let's go into our tight ends. Ryan, who's your tight end?
I went with Zach Miller. I think Zach Miller is a good choice. I think he's going to get the ball. I think he showed last year when he came on. He had a really good year. But I think it's just one of those things where Chicago's going to be throwing it a lot. I don't think the running game's going to work. And I think they are going to cover Jeffrey. But Zach Miller's just been that consistent go-to guy that you can just dump it off to him. He gets the yards. In the red zone, he's a big body. He's going to get you the chances. So, and at 3,700, you know, I think if anything, unless you're going to go for Gronk or Reed, I think you just need to save money and go with someone who can get you the points, but is also going to get the targets. And I think Zach Miller's that guy.
Yeah, and it's hard to go for Gronk when he's that expensive, and also week 1, and you're saying that he might be a bit of injury. You don't know what's going to happen. You know Brady's going to hit him, but you don't know how Garoppolo's going to work with him as well. I've gone for a good sort of old faithful when it comes to a tight end. I've gone for Antonio Gates, playing against Kansas City. Look, Kansas City has got a tough defense, but Gates and Rivers, I mean, we're talking these guys have been together forever. It's like an old couple holding hands down the boardwalk. So I like Antonio Gates. He's only 4,200, which is pretty good value for someone like that, and he'll get a lot of points for it. All right, now, so Ryan, I'm going to go through your flex position. You also have a flex position.
I think I have a good flex. I went with Eddie Lacy on my flex.
Ooh, all right.
I think Eddie Lacy's going to have a good game. They're going to move the ball, and he's going to be that bruising back that we've seen a bit before. I think he's going to get over 100 yards, and I think at 6,700, you know, I think a lot of people are down on Eddie Lacy, but there's that hope he could become back to the old guy when he was a top 10 fantasy draft pick last year. Yep. So I think I had a little bit of money left over, so I said I'm going to splurge on my flex, and I went with Eddie Lacy on the high ceiling, especially with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. Any running back should be able to have a good game.
That's right. And sometimes you work backwards in your flex position. I did based on my defense. My flex, I went for a guy he's going to go against Darrelle Revis, but I still like him. He's one of my best receivers that I like. AJ Green, 8,400. This will be a tough matchup, but the Ginger Ninja is going to be throwing the ball to this guy. AJ, you know, everyone in Cincinnati is going to want, you know, they want themselves to do better. They're always pushing themselves. They always start off really strong, and AJ Green is one of the guys who plays a factor in that. And lastly, Ryan, let's talk to your defense. Who'd you choose?
I went with the Rams D. I think the Rams D is a solid defense. They were great last year. They're going up against San Francisco and Blaine Gabbert. And Carlos Hyde's coming off a concussion. I just don't believe in Chip Kelly. I don't believe in this offense. I don't believe in San Francisco with all the Colin Kaepernick distractions. I think this is a time that the Rams D is. This could be a terrible game, by the way. It's going to be like 10-9, something like that. But I think the Rams D will put enough pressure on Gabbert because he can't elude the way that Kaepernick can. So they're going to get some sacks. And they have a good enough secondary that I'm not really worried about any of the Niners receivers. So I think this is a great game. I think the Rams D is one of the best picks of the week.
Yeah, no, they're very good. I've gone for another one. I've gone for the Eagles D at 3,300. Great front seven in this Eagles D. Good pass rush. RG3 is going to be back to his feet. They're going against Cleveland. You know, that's all you really have to say. You're going against Cleveland. All right, let's take a look at our picks if we could see them. We've got Ryan's got bring up Ryan's first. He's got Tyrod Taylor, Spencer Ware, Latavius Murray, Odell Beckham Jr., Tavon Austin, Zach Miller, Eddie Lacy in the Rams D. Now looking at my defense, or my team, I've got Marcus Mariota, Tim Hightower, Doug Martin, Brandon Cooks, Vincent Jackson, Sterling Shepard, Antonio Gates, AJ Green, and the Eagles defense. Hey, do you want to get involved? Go to DraftKings. You can play along DraftKings. DraftKings is now in the UK. Week 1 of the NFL is here. Why don't you play along? Play for free, play for money. We've got a few big contests you can play in. You can turn $3 into $5 million. Also, 100,000 free roll, which means you play for free, but you can win 100,000. That is just crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Go to DraftKings or DraftKings.co.uk. You can win big during the NFL, and of course, come down and see us at the Hippodrome Casino every Sunday. Welcome to the big time.